My name's Erin-Beau Carroll. I'm the social media manager for Altrincham FC Women and a Radio Robins commentator.
So, Erin, what is life like being involved in the women's game?
My life in the women's game is probably one of the best things I've had happen to me. I mean, obviously working for the social media for the women, I get to see them week in, week out, cover them for their games, give them match day updates, give them interviews, put stuff out for them. But I feel like it's very hectic at times. I mean, you've got to be on the ball at all times, especially as we saw on Saturday with the 3-2 win. You've got to be on it and ready for anything.
So, what's your favourite thing about being involved within women's football?
It's the connections that I've made. So I'm quite close with a lot of the players at the women's side of things. I've played with a few of them at junior level. I went to school with a few of them as well, and I've built a lot of good connections with them. Alex as well. I've made quite a good connection with him. I can talk to him about what he needs on the social media, when he needs it doing. I know I can interview him after a game, whether we've been beaten, whether we've lost, whether we've won, whether we've drawn, no matter what. I mean, I think that's just the best thing about it. But also for that, I'd say just meeting new people there is amazing as well.
How difficult is it having to balance playing and for you being at college on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I'm at college, so sixth form 5 days a week locally, where I'm studying media, sport and A-level psychology. So I'm trying to balance both my A-levels and a job sort of like a volunteering job over the weekend where I'm running social media, where I'm commentating, putting interviews out, putting new stuff out. I think for me, it's just about finding that balance where I'm not stressing myself out too much, so where I sort of do the women's stuff over the weekend and at night maybe, or where I'm focusing more on my college stuff during the day where I've got no lessons or where I'm in lesson and focusing, getting my head down on that. I feel like I've just got to kind of find like a little working balance between the two in order not to overload myself, which is what I've found at the moment.
What is your drive to turn up week in, week out and put the hard work in all the time?
To see them succeed, I just want them to be covered as well as what the men's get coverage-wise. And you look at it from many clubs across the world, the women's game has sprung into popularity. I mean, that's something that they deserve, and I just want them to be as equally covered as what they can be and just to get them as noticed as possible.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that those involved in the women's game face today?
Oh, I think the main thing that people face is that they find it hard to get into it. So, like me, I started covering it by my own accord, whereas now I'm sort of doing it for the club in a way. So I think it's more just getting involved. Some people find it hard to find the opportunities to get involved, whether that be through volunteering or whether they don't have a local club to go to. It's about finding them opportunities and making them for yourself.
Have you seen lower league women's football progress over the last few years?
Absolutely. I mean, I think lower league women's football has grown in popularity over the last few seasons. You're seeing it with the likes of Altrincham, Nantwich as well at the moment. They had a record crowd the other day and have just made it to the first round of the FA Cup, which is nothing short of impressive. I feel like it's just grown in popularity and we're seeing bigger and bigger crowds and teams are getting to play at mainstream stadiums like Moss Lane. It's something that's going to grow and continue growing over the next few seasons.
Where do you see lower league women's football in the years to come?
Lower league women's football in the years to come is where most games, or if not every game, will be played at mainstream stadiums. So we play at Partington Sports Village at the moment. I'd like to see us play at Moss Lane a little bit more. And I'd like to see loads of lower league teams play at mainstream stadiums. I know Nantwich play their home games at their home stadium. I feel like that's something that we need to see in a booming crowd as well, where players are being rewarded for their efforts.
How can people help grow the women's game further?
Just get involved as much as you can. Go down to watch it, find your local team, get involved with them like I did. But as well, just look at their results, try and find connections within that to get yourself involved with them and just try something new and go and watch them. That's all you've got to do. They'll appreciate the support and that's how it's going to grow in years to come.